and welcome to ECCB Connects, a production of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank to share with you who we are, what we do, and how we serve you. The Honourable Minister responsible for energy in the Federation of St. Christopher, St. Kitts and Nevis, Konris Maynard, leads a delegation to the ECCB campus for insights into the bank's award-winning solar canopy project. We have highlights of the visit after this message.
EC Polymer Notes, our new money.
Here's how you can detect genuine EC Polymer Notes. Feel. Polymer notes feel smoother than the material from which paper notes are made. Look. Look for the clear window at the front and back of each note. This window allows you to see through the notes. If you hold the notes up to the light, you'll see the value of the note in an area of plain colored print. Tilt. A holographic foil is on the $100, $50, and $20. The images move and their colors change when you tilt the notes. Remember, detecting genuine EC Polymer notes is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Feel, look, and tilt.
EC Polymer Notes, cleaner, safer, stronger.
Thanks for staying connected. The Eastern Caribbean Central Bank is a leader when it comes to taking concrete steps to reduce its carbon footprint and using natural resources sustainably. As part of the bank's thrust to become carbon neutral in its own operations, the Greening of the Campus project was launched. According to Governor of the ECCB, Timothy N.J. Antoine, one of the objectives of the project is to create an example that other ECCB member countries can emulate to encourage a faster transition to renewable energy. The Honourable Minister with responsibility for energy in the Federation of St. Christopher, St. Kitts and Nevis, Konris Maynard, has taken the ECCB up on this challenge and visited the campus for more insights into the operations of the bank's solar canopy project with the intent to advance his country's renewable energy agenda. Governor Antoine welcomed the minister and his delegation, noting that the ECCB is happy that the government of St. Kitts and Nevis is taking steps to embrace renewable energy sources.
We're really big on energy, renewable energy. We are an advocate for renewable energy. We give advice on renewable energy and we act. And what you see outside is an expression of action. So we do three things at Central Bank. We advocate, we advise, and we act. And in all three theaters, we have acted on renewable energy. We have performed. We continue to make a case for renewable energy for our region, including St. Kitts and Nevis. We continue to give advice to member governments on things we see that could help to expedite the transition. And thirdly, we act, as we've done here, and the other things that we do that we may not talk about today.
The ECCB's renewable energy project design involves solar panels installed in a series of canopies over the bank's parking lot. It is the biggest solar power generator on the island of St. Kitts and is also considered the largest solar power system in the Eastern Caribbean operated by any entity other than a power company. Minister Maynard said the success of the ECCB's renewable energy initiative is due largely to the leadership of the governor and expressed gratitude for the bank's willingness to assist its member countries with shared knowledge and insights into the operations of the project.
As Minister of Energy, obviously one of the cornerstones of our mandate is to achieve possibly 100% renewable sources by 2030. That's at least the goal. So it is our pleasure to be here. We want to look to see what you have done. We also want to commend you for your leadership on this front because that is what is needed. In St. Kitts and Nevis, as it is the case throughout the region, there is tremendous potential for us to get energy independence. But what is needed is leadership to take this step and move forward, even as the challenges exist in terms of access to financing. Of course, the capacity of the local expertise to handle the transition. But these should not prevent us from putting our foot forward to achieve this very, very important goal of energy independence. with the emergence of the war in Ukraine and Russia, it has underscored the importance that if we have a resource that we can utilize to bring independence to our people as a Caribbean region, then we ought to go after it and go after it forcefully.
Project manager Wayne Myers has led the implementation of the ECCB's greening initiative. He provided an overview of the project to the visiting delegation.
The total storage is 3,300 kilowatt hours. Now, the sizing of the storage for our purposes was dependent on how much we export. So the consultants looked at, we got the data from SCELEC. You have years of data, because we have smart meters on both buildings. So we know how much we consume and we know how much we export every single day. And SCELEC records that, pulls that down. So we requested from SCELEC data at that point in time. And we got data for many years, all the way back. And so we know exactly how much we export every day for a period of time. So they used that and they modeled it and they came up with a size for us. One of the things we learned about lithium-ion batteries is that they take a lot of charge early in the charge. Once they get up to about 80%, 89%, they slow right down. So basically a trickle charge after that. So that's why we still export energy to the grid, because the batteries don't use it. So it goes down and goes down, and we get close to 100% by about 5 o'clock. Our batteries kick in at about 6, and they run at night till about just before 8 o'clock in the morning.
Following an animated session of sharing information and asking questions, the delegation got a closer look of the project when they were taken on a tour of the facility. Tour, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Energy, Darrell Lloyd, as well as representatives of the St. Kitts Electricity Services, SCELEC, shared their impressions of the ECCB's project, as well as the benefits that a similar government-led initiative could hold for the people of the Federation.
The cost of energy is relatively high, not only in St. Kitts but around the region and globally. And so the government understands the cry. We have heard the cry. We, as a ministry, we understand that we do not have the luxury like some of those other countries. We don't have oil, and we don't have a lot of natural resources. A lot of the resources that are being utilized by some of the other countries. However, we recognize that we can tap into the natural resources that we have here that would unearth the potential and better us as it relates to the renewables, and so renewable energy. And so I believe that this project, of course, will redound to the betterment of the nation of St. Kitts and Nevis in terms of, one, reducing the cost of energy, and two, providing a much more cleaner energy for the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. And so I want to say kudos to ECCB, and the ministry looks forward to, as we map out, to partner with you some more so that at least we can ensure that we get the mix correct.
Today's tour of the ECCB solar farm was very enlightening and quite educational. And it's given that it's the first of its kind across the Federation, I deem it quite insightful that we as SCELEC, the power source of the nation, were able to come and visit and see exactly what it took to bring this to fusion. We are hoping that in the very near future, we given our plans to go full renewable by 2030. This is going to be instrumental in bringing us to that point. We at SCELEC, we have been involved over the last few months since we have been aboard in several several discussions in relation to renewables, and solar has been one of those paramount. And as a matter of fact, we have a PPA currently in relation to a solar farm that we are hoping to bring on stream shortly. And so what Central Bank has done is quite a role model for all of us here across the Federation to follow. And so we are indeed grateful to the Governor and his team for accommodating us today and providing this brilliant insight into the solar farm.
To the question of how would a project of this, if replicated across the island and across the Federation, what impact it would have? Well, first of all, we have to understand we primarily have been dependent on imported fossil fuel as a form of energy by which we are generating electricity. This has, in recent years, proven to have been a significant risk in terms of exposure to economic volatility because of price market controls that we do not have. What we are now going to be considering is making the transition to utilizing our indigenous sources of energy. We're standing here, it's a bright sunny day, the sun is free. Why not utilize it? And in so doing, now we gain more control and we then we'll be able to have more energy security. Energy security, therefore, allows us to have even more control of our finances and reduces our risk and exposure to any sort of externalities and economic shocks. On another level, what it also can be looked at is the spin-off sort of benefits across the society. This project, its execution would have created employment, it would have created jobs. And as we start to see more projects of this type being rolled out, we'll see job creation, we'll see persons being trained and educated, we'll have persons then, being actually assigned maintenance tasks of being able to upkeep these sort of facilities. So there are many other linkages to this sort of facility execution and the energy transition, which we know we will be going to in the very near future.
Celebrating ECCB at 40.
Did you know that the agreement establishing the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank was signed on July 5, 1983 in Trinidad and Tobago by 7 member states? Now you know, celebrating ECCB at 40.
That's where we end this episode of ECCB Connects. Thank you for watching. We trust that you found it to be quite informative. Do connect with us again next week for another program where we'll share with you who we are, what we do, and how we serve you.